So you're trying to teach your child to read and you need a simple routine that actually works? I got you. Today, I'm going to show you a 15 to 20-minute phonics routine that actually works. It is research-based, structured, and builds strong reading skills step by step. It's Brown here, and let's get into this phonics routine. There are a total of 6 steps, and each step builds a different reading skill. We start with phonemic awareness, then we have a visual drill. Step 3 is an auditory drill. Step 4 is a blending drill. Step 5 is when you're actually going to teach that new skill or that new concept that you're talking about. And step 6 is when your child is going to be able to apply that skill with a connected text. So we'll do some reading and spelling practice. And you're probably thinking, all of that in 15 to 20 minutes? Yes, let me show you. Okay, let's start with step 1, phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is the ability to hear the individual sounds in a word. So think auditory. Step 1 in phonemic awareness is split into 2 parts. We have a blending activity and a segmenting activity. In the blending activity, you're going to say the sounds and your child is going to give you the word. For example, you would say at, and your child would say. For the segmenting activity, you are going to give your child the word and they will say the sounds. For example, you would say mat and they will say, got it? Step 1 for phonemic awareness, 3 minutes maximum. That's all you need. These next 2 steps, step 2 and 3, is really to help your child understand that these symbols or letters represent sounds. So step 2 is the visual drill. This is where you're going to pull out your flashcards. Flashcards of letters your child already knows. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold up those flashcards really fast, tell them it's a game, it's lightning round, and they are giving you the sound, not the letter name. They are giving you the sound of that letter. And you don't even have to say anything, just hold them up. Step 2, 2 minutes, 2 minutes maximum. Step 3 is the auditory drill. So you're flipping it around a little bit. You are giving your child the sound and they are giving you the letter name. So for example, you would say, and they would say, and again, these 2 steps, step 2 and 3, really help to strengthen the connection between symbols and sounds. Step 4 is the blending drill, also known as word chaining. This is where children are actually manipulating those sounds to create words. And I suggest getting magnetic tiles so that children have something physically in their hand to manipulate these sounds. Here is an example of word chaining. So your child is first going to spell map, then they're going to spell sap, then tap, then tat, then pat. These are sounds that they already know. And you can see from this list, we have 1 vowel sound and 4 consonant sounds. So this is a routine that you can do with your child very, very early. Now you might notice tat and you're like, that's not a word. That's okay. Even nonsense words, or sometimes I like to call them silly words, are strengthening your child's decoding skills. And this lets us know that they are actually internalizing the rules of the English language versus just memorizing them. Step 4, about 2 minutes. All right, so we are about 8 minutes into this routine and we haven't taught a new sound yet. Step 5 is when you are introducing a new sound and you are going to explicitly teach that new sound. Let's say we want to add another consonant to what they already know. And we're going to introduce the sound or the letter F. What you're going to do is you're going to have a flashcard with that letter and you're going to say, this is the letter F. It says, watch my mouth. Can you try? And they're going to try. You are going to explicitly teach it. Now, when you're teaching this letter sound, I don't want you to get caught up on the letter names. You can tell your child the letter name, but what's most important is that they know the letter sound and the articulation gestures. So you really want them to be looking at how you're forming that sound in your mouth so they can do the same thing. And sometimes I don't even say, this is the letter F. Sometimes I say, this says, I don't even introduce the letter name. It's not important right now. Then you're going to give them some sample words or some examples. Like this sound, we find at the beginning of words, like in the word fish, or in the word fun, or in the word fan. And you want to have your child repeat after you as you are saying these words. Now, if you're just introducing another consonant, you do want to add letter formation to this step. If you are working with an older child and let's say you're doing vowel teams, we don't need to talk about letter formation because they already know how to form their letters. And when you're teaching your child how to form that sound, you are going to be very explicit in your direction. And you're going to have a whiteboard or a piece of paper and you're going to write that letter. You're going to say, start at the top, line down, back at the top, line across, in the middle, line across. And your child is going to practice forming that sound. And they're going to say the same thing you said. Start at the top, line down, back to the top, line across, and you're going to practice that for a little bit. Then you're going to do some reading practice with that new sound. So you're going to model one and then you're going to do maybe 2 or 3 words together. And this is still guided practice, so they're not on their own yet. So for example, you'll have the word fat written down and you will say, I'm going to read this word. At. Let's try some together and you'll have 2 other words there or 3 other words maximum there. And they're still with those sounds that they already know. So maybe you have fat, sat, at, mat, keeping it very simple with those sounds that they already know and incorporating that new sound that you just taught them. Then you're going to do the same thing with spelling. Spelling incorporating that new sound. So you're going to say, I'm going to spell the word fat. And you're going to write it down. At. And you're doing this out loud. You're modeling it for them. And then we're going to try it together. So you and your child are going to try it together with 2 or 3 other words. And these can be the same words that you just read. You don't have to think or have this big list of words. Keep it to 4 words total and you should be good. Step 5, about 6 to 8 minutes. If you have to incorporate letter formation, 8 minutes for sure. All right, we've made it to the end. Step 6. Hopefully you're still with me. Step 6 is the connected text. And this is when your child is going to apply that new sound that you just taught them. So step 6 is broken up into 2 parts. We have reading and spelling. For each part, we want to stay around 2 sentences apiece. And let me show you what I mean. So for the first part of step 6, you are going to write on a whiteboard or a piece of paper a sentence that includes the sound that you just taught and the sounds that they already know. So for example, your sentence could be, the mat is fat. It's going to be written on a whiteboard and they are going to read it to you. Then you'll come up with another sentence and do the same thing. The second part of step 6 is encoding or the spelling. This is where your child is going to write a sentence using the sound that you just taught them and the sounds that they already know. It can be as simple as Pat sat, and they're going to write that sentence. Or you can have a sentence like, I sat at the mat. And what I like to do for the spelling portion of step 6 is I actually like to count out the words with the child that I'm working with and draw a line for each word so that as they're writing that sentence and they're trying to decode each word, they have a space for every single word. And that's a great scaffold until they become more fluent with this practice. For example, if we are writing the sentence, I sat at the mat, I'll say it first, then we'll say it together. I sat at the mat, and then we'll count it. I sat at the mat. 5, okay, we need 5 lines. I sat at the mat. And I'm going to give the whiteboard to the child and they are going to write it. That step should take about 3 to 4 minutes. And if you like a bonus like me, step 7 is to incorporate decodable books or decodable text. And this is really to reinforce the phonics pattern that you just taught and really to help your child build that confidence and to eliminate the habit of guessing. Here is a time breakdown of all of the steps. But what's most important here is consistency. Consistency over perfection. Leave any questions that you have in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. Let me know if a PDF resource outlining everything will be something that's helpful to you. Maybe if you're like me and you like to be organized, you can just kind of fill it in as you're supporting your child. Be sure to like and subscribe for all things education.